trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming. This is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News, powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, additional child sexual assault charges have been filed against an Alliance man who was arrested earlier this month for allegedly sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl. Following the arrest of 46-year-old Daniel Cortinus, the Scottsbluff County Attorney filed 4 first-degree child sexual assault charges and 2 charges of third-degree sexual assault of a child against him. Court records say 2 victims were interviewed several years ago after the reported sexual assault that had occurred to them around 2008 in Scottsbluff, beginning when the girls were 8 and 14 years old. Bond in the Scottsbluff County case has been set at $500,000 at 10%, and he was set to be arraigned on the 4 Class 1B felonies and 2 Class 3A felonies Monday afternoon. If convicted on just one of the 4 more serious charges, he'd be facing a mandatory minimum of 20 years in prison. Sticking with the courts now, as a Bayard man has been sentenced to just under a year in jail for threatening a woman. 55-year-old Jim Sinks was sentenced this month to 364 days in jail after being convicted on a Class 3A felony terroristic threats charge. Court records say that last July, Sinks made a veiled threat to the victim, giving her 48 hours to get out of town, and if she didn't, he would kill her and her family. Sinks only received 6 days credit for time already served, and will also have to serve a 9-month term of post-release supervision once he's out of jail. We'll have more news right after this.
At Platte Valley Bank, we want to help you take advantage of every adventure. We know you have plans, goals, and dreams. Let us help you with them. Whether it is building, buying, or renovating, we have the home loan or home equity line of credit to fit your needs. Stop in and see us at Platte Valley Bank and let us help make your dreams a reality. You belong here. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I imagined retirement in a place where we could enjoy our golden years, where adventure and friendship are the only items on the schedule. The Garden Homes at Northfield gives us the luxury we planned for and peace of mind when it comes to convenience, safety, and comfort. We never have to stop and think about the day-to-day upkeep. We love to explore abroad, but most importantly in our backyard. So much to do, so much to see. Here at Northfield, we get the protection of life care, incredible tax benefits, and secured rates for aging services. It's peaceful, knowing that if our needs change, we'll be taken care of. And most importantly, that our kids will never have to make any tough decisions. There never seemed to be enough time to do all the things we wanted. Now we get to focus our energy on enjoying what this community has to offer. At the Garden Homes, life is ours again. A place we had dreamed about. A chance to focus on us.
Welcome back. Construction will soon begin on a new development of duplex townhomes in south central Gering, just blocks away from Oregon Trail Park. City officials, developers, realtors, family, and friends gathered at the corner of 12th and K Streets last week, marking the start of the Prairie Sky Villas project with a ceremonial turning of dirt. Mayor Kent Ewing told those gathered for Friday's event that the development will help address a significant need in the community.
The City of Gering needs housing, people need a place to live, and this will be a prime product for them to invest their money with a great return on investment, and it also is the same for the city.
Integrity Development LLC unveiled the project 2 years ago, and co-owner John Bush said it took a little time to get TIF financing in place for infrastructure and then finding partners, including TCD, Nebraska Realty, and Nebraska Economic Development, on board to help with construction financing. 3-bedroom, 2-bath townhomes will start at $265,000, and Bush says the company is planning on completion of the first duplex by the end of October, with pre-sale also available on the other 10 duplexes to be constructed on both sides of 13th Street north of K Street. And a redevelopment plan for the Hobbs Horizon housing project has been approved by the City of Gering, making it eligible for tax increment financing. At their most recent meeting, the Gering City Council took public comment on the plan application from Oikos Development Corporation. City engineer Annie Folk explained that the project met the guidelines for the plan to be approved and would result in increased value for the land to be developed.
Currently, the project is valued at $10,500. After completion of the project, the property is estimated to be valued at $1,977,000, which would create available TIF funds of $620,563.98. So there are on this project far more eligible expenses than there are estimated TIF available.
The estimated cost of the expense for that would be eligible for TIF are more than $2.25 million. There is no opposition to the redevelopment application, and the council gave it unanimous approval. And at its June 16th meeting, the Alliance City Council approved a revision to the start time of its regular city council meetings, changing the time from 7 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Regular city council meetings will continue to be held on the first and third Tuesday of each month at the Alliance Learning Center Community Meeting Room on Sweetwater Avenue. This adjustment modifies only the meeting start time and does not affect the established meeting schedule.
Life is crazy. Pain is stressful. How can anybody concentrate with these busy schedules? Now you can. This is Ben Moravec coming to you from Hydrozen, a float therapy business right here in Scotts Bluff. I'm here today to let you know we now have memberships for $49 monthly. You can guarantee yourself at least one float per month. You know how floating keeps your muscles relaxed, your joints relieved, and your brain clear to think? Now you can float at a reduced rate each month. Inquire today at hydrozenfloat.com or call us at 308-63-FLOAT. Hydrozen. Unplug and recharge.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale starts now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now's the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit rbawyoming.com to book your free estimate.
For background, my folks took the position that my siblings should get a portion of the farm, even though they never tried to help out for the many years while I carried the responsibilities of helping my folks and uncle out while they sat on the sidelines, he said, even when they had good-paying jobs while raising their own families. Here's the question. Spencer, will come to you. Is there any legal way for me to contest my parents' claims, or do I have to live with the consequences?
So, like a lot of things, the devil's in the details, so I could not say yes or no to that. But what I would say is I tell clients all the time when we're doing estate planning, you can tell your kids as much or as little about this plan as you choose. And I pause and say, what I have found is that when there are family fights, it's because there were surprises. And when there were not surprises, there's much less fighting going on. And so I think while our writer, certainly has an unfortunate situation here, I think it's something the rest of us can learn from in our own lives about being proactive on that on the front end, and whether that's we're in the position of making the planning and sharing that with our kids, or whether we're a child and figuring out how to pry the plan out of mom and dad's mouth and have them tell us about it. I think for me that's the lesson here on this one.
Tom, Craig?
Well, I would just throw out one thought, and that is oftentimes we're going to find ourselves maybe down in the count or in the hole relative to relationships and maybe some misunderstanding about how allocation should occur. So you can do two things in that space. You can go ahead and pour gasoline on a dumpster fire and really make it a big one, or you can say, is there a solution here that we haven't thought about? And so I would really encourage Tom in New York to stop and say, okay, is there a deal that can be worked out with these siblings that allow me to continue farming, that allow people to get what they need and to move the business forward? So I always step back and say, is there another solution before I go to litigation? Because As everybody knows, Spencer's really expensive.
Lawyers have to eat too, I guess, is what they say. Craig, any other thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I'm just going to reiterate what's already been said. Getting ahead of this is really important in family situations. And I think often we just avoid it because it is a hard conversation. But the earlier that somebody can step into this and start just asking the right questions, where are we going? What does this look like in 3 to 5 to 10 years? Because the last thing you want to do is to try to go back and solve or try to put out the fire that's already there. You want to be able to get everybody on the same page as early and as soon as you can, and that involves talking. I mean, you can't avoid it. You have to step towards this stuff as early as possible. The other thing I would probably we all have a tendency in these situations to look at it as far as like what I want out of this. And I think one thing that we always need to come back to is the owners or the parents in this case is you want them to make the decisions that's right for them. Because at the end of the day, I want them, and I think we would want them to look back and say we made the best decisions that we could. And nobody's perfect, and nobody's going to hit 100%. But trying to help them to make the decisions that they're going to look back on and say we did the right thing versus what I want. And that's hard to do. And I get where this individual is coming from and respect that absolutely. But if everybody kind of brings, the concern of making sure those parents are going to end up where they want to be, because they're the ones that are going to make the call. Mm-hmm. So you want them to be comfortable with that. So.
Tom in New York, thanks for writing your question in. Maybe step back with the gasoline before dumping on the fire. Tom's words.
I might just add just a couple of practical things on to Tom's point about is there another solution? And so just a couple of ideas that we run into all the time in estate administration is maybe mom and dad set it up for a few siblings to be undivided interests in, let's say there's 3 siblings, 3 parcels, undivided interests all the way across. Well, there are tools where we can sort of unwind that, and sibling 1 has entire ownership of this parcel, and 2 of this parcel, and 3 of this parcel. And so I just throw that out as one practical consideration that, and then maybe siblings 2 and 3 are willing to give 1 the lease rights on these. They say, great, we have the land in our name now, we can plan for our families, but yeah, we'd be more than glad to let you keep farming it for the foreseeable future. And so I just throw that out. Maybe that's obvious, but wanted to plant that seed for folks to think about.
Yeah,
also.
appreciate that.
Let's take a look at your community calendar, brought to you by Riverstone Bank. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. We're local and we love our community.
Welcome to Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. Whether you're a wine enthusiast, a whiskey sommelier, a tequila connoisseur, or you just love your beer, Kelly's has the best selection of what you're looking for. Family owned and operated since 1946 and right on 27th Street in Scottsbluff. Come see us today at Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. And remember to be a good neighbor. Don't drink and drive. Kelly's Liquor, West 27th Street in Scottsbluff.
At Platte Valley Bank, we want to help you take advantage of every adventure. We know you have plans, goals, and dreams. Let us help you with them. Whether it is building, buying, or renovating, we have the home loan or home equity line of credit to fit your needs. Stop in and see us at Platte Valley Bank and let us help make your dreams a reality. You belong here. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
And finally tonight, Visit Nebraska has opened the 2026 Nebraska Holiday Passport application period, now through the end of July. This mini version of the popular summer Nebraska Passport program encourages travelers to visit holiday stores, experiences, coffee shops, and more from January 13th through January 10th. Program coordinator Lily Ullman says as they enter the 5th year of the Nebraska Holiday Passport, Visit Nebraska is thrilled to build on the momentum of the previous programs and get travelers out exploring new stops in the state. Potential stops should be open during the majority of the program, with exclusions for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. For more information, you can go online to nebraskapassports.com/holiday. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be safe out there. We'll see you here next time.